seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance.
Well, good morning, curling fans, and welcome to the women's quarterfinal matchup here at the AMJ Players Championship, our 5th event this season on the Grand Slam of Curling. A couple quick announcements before we meet the teams. If you want to watch the game on ice level, you can do so in the Jackpot City Lounge. You do not need a VIP pass. You do not need any special ticket. You can head on down there, see the game and your favorite teams up close and on ice level, and the bar is open. Also, we want to send a big welcome to Girl Guides coming in today. They are a special guest for taking in the action, and of course, cookies are on sale on the East Concourse. Speaking of concourse, we want to encourage you to check out all the sponsors who are set up on both sides of the arena. Lots of great contests and giveaways for you to check out and have your chance to win.
It's not just a game.
Reminder, there will be music.
Performance, pushing limits, seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance.
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Final storm. Whoa! Girl! Easy! Whoa! Does he have it? Yes, he does! What a shot! John Schuster! Oh my goodness! A third of a rock for... That would make sense why he did curl.
We gotta not kill that. It's gotta just be in the catch zone.
I mean, my gut is like hack to board and just roll 3 feet. 2 feet.
Yeah? Yeah, I think it's probably just hack.
You're always touching the 6.
I don't know that this leaves the 4-foot with hack.
Really good spots for Miller.
I think John's in a situation where he needs to send one of the right guards back.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, and it's dead nose and just, it's gonna go spinning. This actually might catch two and just leak back.
I think it does.
Okay, so it might, close to dead.
Hammer something.
Extra focus of the players, because sometimes you just couldn't hear yourself thinking, and we needed to like use signs and show what we meant instead of just shouting out a number or like play this hit and roll kind of thing. We had to show everything, so that added another level, I guess, to our game. After that, we've been a little better when the crowd is loud or when you can't hear as well.
Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance.
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Close. Last drop. Yep. 8-10. From the tie to 5. Isabel Brano.
Yep.
Team Hasselborn. Their opponents, going the Yellow Rocks with a round-robin record of 3-2, curling in Chungcheon, Korea, Team Ha. And on sheet B, first up, from the Red Rocks, with a round-robin record of 3-2, curling in Sapporo, Japan, Team Yoshimura. And from the Yellow Rocks, with a round-robin record of 4-1, from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Team Homan. Good luck to all, and good curling.
The notes are they're both.
We're live from the Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Final leg of the Grand Slam of Curling Tour, the AMJ Players Championship. We're coming straight into the first end of our quarterfinal action. Team Homan taking on Team Yoshimura. I'm Tyler George, joined by Brent Lang in the booth. Brent, coming in hot here. Would expect Rachel to be taking this game very seriously, as you always would for a playoff game, but the one team that has beaten them this week, Team Yoshimura.
Yeah, call it the revenge game if you want to. I don't know. They're fired up. The other thing and the other motivating factor for Team Homan is they've never won the Players' Championship, which is hard to imagine. But two teams, one on the men's side and one on the ladies' side, looking to complete the Grand Slam this week. Rachel Homan on the ladies' side and Magic Mike McEwen on the men's side. So two Canadian teams trying to join a pretty elite club. I would expect nothing but the best from Team Homan today. She has been on record, on stream, on TV, self-admittedly kind of struggling to map the ice, so I'll be interested to see how she handles with that.
Definitely saw a little of that last night in the final round robin game. Very vocal on the mic about the conditions being more difficult than what they'd seen, but didn't make any difference in the end result. Rachel draws the side of the button for the win.
Problem with being so good is when you don't get the results you're used to, it's extra frustrating. You know, if you're average like us, you're used to it. Good ice, bad ice, I'm just kind of average, so.
We'll run through the lineups real quick as we are underway. For Team Yoshimura, lead Omiya Anna, second Onodera Kaho, third Kotani Yuna, and skip Yoshimura Sayaka.
Well done. Thanks for tackling that, Ty.
Yeah, I figured I was going to be steering the ship today.
Yeah, I'm still in my language studies for commentary on the international side.
Had to do those names as well in the World Championships, so I had a little experience. Very familiar names on the opposite side for Team Homan. At lead, Sarah Wilkes. Second, Emma Miskew. Third, Tracy Fleury. And the skip, of course, Rachel Homan. Brent, can't say it enough, even though it's been said a million times over, this historic season from Team Homan. ranked #1 in the world with over 500 points leading into this event. The gap between them and the second place team is wider than the gap between the second place team and the 13th place team on tour this year.
That is pretty incredible, but I gotta say, I was here Monday night and they lost. Mallet, my bet came through. Team Blue. Team Boys won, and I think Rachel and the ladies handled it really well, came out to play well, and struggled a little bit, but I mean, it's a bit of a different format and first game of the week, and it accomplished everything it needed to. It was a great thing for curling, raised a bunch of money for great charities, and filled this place with lots of different curling fans, so success all around. Early jam there, and all of a sudden Team Homan hit into lie 2.
A bit of a long jam from top ring to back ring.
Wouldn't be able to make that if you tried probably in the first end, but
it's a tough stick.
Accidentally.
And a miscue playing the hit and roll to the wing on this stone in the top of the 8-foot.
How did Team Yoshimura perform at they were the Japanese World Championship representative, correct?
Correct, yeah. It's a very disappointing week for them in Uigbongju, South Korea. They came into that tournament ranked #8 in the world. Obviously, if you're in the Players' Championship here, you're in the top 12, but high expectations for that squad, and did not finish high enough to qualify their country for the Olympics. So they will be in the Olympic qualification event, which there's going to be an odd woman out team if you're looking at traditional teams that play in the Olympics, with the United States, Norway, and Japan will all be in that event. Only 2 get through to the Olympics, along with some other teams that you'd expect to be competitive. Estonia, we saw some great things from at the European Championships, even though they didn't get through. It's not going to be an easy thing, and there's going to be a very, very disappointed MA at the end of that week.
Not an event you want to play in. I mean, you want to have a chance to get to the Olympics. I'm sure they're all grateful that they do have a second chance. But yeah, you wouldn't expect Team Japan. I mean, Fujisawa has been on and off the podium at all sorts of different things over the years, and you know, having pretty good depth outside of Canada. Japan would have as good a depth on the ladies' side as almost anybody. Maybe Korea might be ahead of them, but very, very surprising. Speaking of surprising, I'm surprised Rachel didn't just hit that wide one in the first end, but she is getting more aggressive, I think, as confidence builds, and I think she wants to widen the gap, so they're looking for, okay, this is our strategy and we're winning, but who cares about that? How do we continue to get better? And one of those is probably just constant pressure, and to do that, you got to make those draws, even though they are tough in the first end.
Stick now made by Yoshimura to sit 2. I talked a little with Rachel one night this week about what they've been doing. I had 4 straight of their games at the World Championships, and when you get that much coverage of a team and you get to watch shot by shot, some things really stand out. And the one thing with Rachel's squad that she absolutely agreed with from watching was they don't have to press usually to create opportunities. It's just all about execution, and their #1 objective is just not to give their opponent opportunities. So you just don't see, unless the execution isn't there, shots for 2s and 3s against that squad. Eventually, when you out-execute and you get those 2-1, 2-1 situations, then the 3 comes because your opponent has to press late in the game, and you see all those 8-2, 9-3 type of finals from Rachel's squads. And she said, yeah, that's by design. We're just not going to let our opponents score on us, and then the points will come. And the way that they do that, and you've seen the top teams, Bruce Mowat on the men's side would be the best example. Same thing, where you're just not going to get the mistakes and the points will come, so the opportunities are never there for your opponent.
Yeah, they do a great job of that, and all the top teams do. And I think as the game continues to evolve, on the men's side, it's become harder to kind of generate points on misses. And, as early as 10 years ago playing, it was a lot of times you would just make the shots you're supposed to make and take advantage of the misses they're not supposed to miss, and I think that's what Rachel does extremely well. And as the game continues to evolve, I think on the men's side there are more teams playing at that high level, right, where you just got to go out and it's just basically a pissing contest of elite, precise shot making, and you're seeing that more and more. And that Team Homan is, they're ahead of everybody in every aspect of the game, but as long as they don't you know, give up a bad steal or give up a bad three even. I think they know that they're going to get their chances because of their consistency and because nobody can stick with them over a longer period of time.
Yeah, absolutely right. See that draw to backside of T from Yoshimura.
A little bit of a tricky shot here for Tracy. That's a good freeze in there by Team Yoshimura. And this all started, Emma kind of chipped the guard on a come around where they could have just hit to lie two, and it goes back to, especially in the first end, but you know, normally they would hit that, and this is probably part of the new evolution of Team Homan, putting a little more pressure on themselves to try and push themselves to the next level. Probably want a rematch with Bruce, and they know to beat Bruce, they're going to have to start making those.
Not wrong on that either.
Or maybe they don't want to. I don't want a rematch with Bruce.
I don't.
I'm happy I don't have to play Bruce and the boys anymore.
So we've seen more curl on this side of the sheet throughout the week. There seems to be a peak between sheet A and sheet B, where you're getting more curl towards the wall on sheet A and more curl away from it on sheet B.
Not the exact call, but a really good result, potentially better in my view. They were trying to chip and roll away, but
that's a really difficult rock to move now.
Sure is. Needs to thread the needle between the reds. If she does, though, Rachel will be at risk if one of those things she's trying to avoid, which is an early steal or a steal of multiple points. She'll have to face three, at least on her first, if this is made, but super hard. I think they're switching maybe to a freeze, though, with that ice. Maybe not. She is motioning to tap it through. My Japanese is not very good.
The edge of 4-foot broom with what we've seen for curl on this track. It's probably a back line to through the house type of weight. So the skip, Yoshimura Sayaka. Playing the intern tap, as Brent said, trying to poke this between the two red stones. Just barely cross nose to get there.
Tighten up a little bit. This is one where you got to nail the weight. If you take the weight for back line and throw hack, it'll under curl by probably 8 inches. And if you take back line and you throw T-line, it's going to over curl by probably a foot. Back line, I know that Japanese.
That's a good one.
It's nice that they use some of our terminology. Trying to get this one carving. This is trouble.
So it looks like Homan may still be shot rock, very close. But a lot of error for them to try to get this inside roll, Brent.
Watch out for a nose hit here. Potentially get rid of all the reds and lie 3.
Try to protect this one. We'll still be sitting shot to try to protect this one.
Or you play the hit and roll like they're talking about. Don't want to over-roll and force them to freeze on that. Emma sees it. Emma's the one that has the earpiece in from the booth today. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask, who are we talking to?
Usually the front end, because the back ends, they don't listen to us anyway.
Right.
Just worried we hit this too thick and it's gone.
I don't think you need to throw this that hard. If you were to nose it with even like a control and the yellow goes over and kills the other red, it just gets a lot more expensive for Team Yoshimura.
Yeah.
And I think the hit and roll would probably not be shot for them at that point.
By any means, but we do see that little bit of inconsistency still. But they, to your point, that's expected from a young team.
I think they can hold it
they'll
here.
just get better and better at that as they play these events.
Yeah, no question.
Rachel, one of the only teams that uses the word falls.
11 ranked team, so
release related somewhat, and they do have 3 different releases, so. There have been this week, though, I'll give her credit, a couple inside-out ones I think actually did go backwards, like late. Hit a bit of a ridge in the ice. That's the only way there's a fall in the ice.
That's been consistent all week, right about edge of 8 foot. When you're trying to get under corners or play digs on those lines, just doesn't finish in the last 10, 15 feet. Homan indeed playing close to nose with peel weight, trying to lose as many as 3 reds. whiskers by, but not a bad result at all with where those reds end up.
Chance for the across-the-top double to force. You got to make sure that if we just miss it, and you can see them looking at it, if we just miss it, can we jam it on the red? Because that would be disaster. And it looks damn close, Tyler. Can she jam it on that red?
I think so, but it's unlikely it's not going to spring off, too. Like, the dead stick it would be really tough at that angle. You have to be, like, just absolutely perfectly wrong.
If the double is made here, though, Rachel will have a draw, a comfortable draw to the 4-foot on the draw to the button line, but it will be against 2. This is very makeable. This is about a thick half, 2/3 double. Just got to get it out of the 8-foot.
Could easily be sitting 3 after this shot, if hit right. Yoshimura Sayaka, her last, the first end of action. Perfectly done.
Nice, she nailed it. Nice.
Nicely done.
Made it right out of her hand, no sweeping necessary, and nice. I love that.
Very nice.
Very nice. So Rachel will have to draw the button here, and they do get two up, 2 back in practice, but they really focus on the coming home path. So this is a little bit uncomfortable. But mission accomplished for Team Yoshimura here.
Yeah, Homan really a half-inch away from probably making that triple on her first. Instead, now we'll be looking at 2. Needs basically full 8-foot. We'll call it deep 8-foot for her single. Drew the side of the button for the game last night against Team Kim. Her final stone. First end of action.
Sarah thinking it's light. She went to work right away. Didn't hesitate for a second.
Yeah, no yelling on this one. This is heads down and going.
Really moving. Really gotta go, Sarah.
Rachel seems concerned here, folks.
The sweepers don't look overly concerned. Wilkes and Miscue carry that all the way to the top of the 4-foot for the single point. Homan does indeed get her 1. On to the second end. Homan leads Yoshimura 1-0.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsocktickets.com. Let's rock!
Busy first end, a lot of rocks in play, but ends with the skip for Team Homan. Rachel Homan drawing the 4-foot for her single. 1-0 lead over Yoshimura in this quarterfinal action. Brent, I'd definitely say mission accomplished for Team Yoshimura in the first.
Yeah, it's not a dream start, but a good start. I mean, probably a little bit of frustration there for Team Homan. It's nice to force, but it also depends on how you do it, and that leads to some momentum or lack of momentum. And Rachel's not angry, but probably not super excited to get forced there, especially the way that they had opportunities early for the deuce and then late for the deuce.
Brent, every time Isabella comes over, I feel like this is it. This is when I finally lose my job. Like she comes in.
Could be.
Like permanently.
Yeah. She's cheaper because she's only 12, so you don't even have to pay her. Bringing swag today. Looks like she got paid for her child labor. I was going to say,
looks like maybe she did get paid here.
In GSOC swag.
It's awfully nice.
If Yoshimura can find a way to make a deuce here now, then the momentum's fully in their court. at the same time, if I'm Yoshimura's coach, who isn't here and they're doing better, who's their coach again? They're doing better without him.
I forget his name.
King something?
He won something a while ago.
Oh, it's been a while. Not this year.
Yeah. He's Scandinavian of some sort.
Nicholas Edin has coached these ladies.
That's who it is. Thank you, Brent.
He looks
God, that
great.
was going to bother me all day.
He looks great in black and blue and pink. I'll give him that. He does look great.
Does look
I like
good in those jerseys.
I like their jerseys, and he looks good in it. But he was coaching them at the Worlds, I imagine? Or was he?
No.
He wasn't there.
Don't think he
Maybe
was
he
out
got
there.
fired. Let's start that rumor.
It's entirely possible he was there the whole time and I didn't see him too.
Absolutely.
My brain went to mush after that travel.
We can't see the coaches here either. They're in behind the scaffolding, so I don't know if there's anybody on their bench. But Nick's not here, and they're qualified in the toughest spiel of the year to qualify, and only 6 qualify out of 12. I know it's 50%, but it's 50% of the best 12 teams in the world this year.
I'm a big believer in correlation of results, too, Brent. And Nick, not here. Team in the quarterfinals. That's, you don't have to say anything else. I mean, that's
a
pretty
fact.
cut and dry. Those things are true.
Might be a team audit in the post-season debrief. Okay, Nick, here's the games you're at. Here's our record. Here's the games you weren't at, and here's our record. He better hope he wasn't at the Worlds because they didn't do very well. So that might keep his job. Maybe he's starting to think about life after playing, and that's why he's coaching everybody. Like he was coaching McMillan's team in BC a little bit. I feel like he was on the bench for somebody else not long ago, too. Hard to keep track.
Yeah, he's hopped up in the booth with us a few times during the slams, too. Keeping very busy.
Always interesting to talk to Nick about curling, because whether you agree with him or you don't, I promise you that every one of his thoughts has been well thought through and tested. And
yeah, I enjoyed the time with him in the booth. Just every once in a while I have to tell him I'm really interested in what you're saying, but there's been 5 shots thrown since you started explaining it. And that's the great thing about sitting down with him and talking curling. But there's a game going sometimes, which, of course, we've been guilty of maybe a few times as well. But like right now, I don't think we've called a shot to send, but
this calls itself.
Yeah. Run back gets all 3 yellows moving, but just kills the guard. Nice once again. But Homan now with the open look, deciding what they want to do, if they want to play the guard or peel the red.
Again, I think, Team Homan 10 years ago for sure is peeling that guard.
Yep.
Maybe even a couple years ago, but now want to keep the pressure on. That wide red corner is not very helpful for Yoshimura, and it's... If I'm Yoshimura, I'm happy they're guarding because I want to throw a freeze in there and get in the mix, as they say, and try and generate a deuce. And if they peel that guard, it's like, okay, we got to work for a blank here. Needs this one to be on the AMJ.
Pretty good guard from Emma.
I think you can go through the hole and chip it and roll behind the other corner and just open up both those guards, more importantly. Even if they chip the yellow, as they're saying. She's motioning to nose it. I think you're going to need to chip it and roll behind the red. I don't think she can get to the nose with any weight to move it very far.
A nose at rock would be difficult to even get out of the 4-foot. Again, we talked about how hot cold this team is. It's not a team you want to play when they're on. But in calling their games in South Korea at the Worlds, Brent, I mean, the bad games were very bad, if we're going to be blunt. The touch shots just were not there the least bit. This one does roll to the back of the 12-foot, but it's probably of any team that we've seen this year, this is the one that's the biggest heat check team when they get it going.
Just mismanaged that one a little bit. It was a little bit heavy, but the sweepers Sweepers mentioned that and just needed to carve that over even an inch. If they stayed second shot there, it would have been good, but because they're third, now Tracy is able to just play the straight come around.
Wait if you can.
Just top eight. Whoa. Curl. Just top eight. No, it doesn't. Whoa. Curl.
Tracy Fleury trying to come around this guard again. Little helper from the red guard. Rolls in for third count.
Looking at the double and roll in, I like this call. You can roll behind the corner, or even if you miss the double, you could roll all the way across the rings to the other yellow would also be good. Trying to potentially bring that back red one back into play here, but also eliminating some yellow counters to try and not put too much pressure on Yoshimura for her last.
Sticks again. So Homan sitting 1-2, Yoshimura 3-4.
Rachel doesn't love the pileup of the extra reds. They're one double away from potentially being in some trouble. I like the draw. I think the same draw makes some sense. We'll play the hit and roll.
It was my first thought, but okay. Just a hair.
I think Tracy's become really smart at when to not challenge Rachel, but when to suggest and when to just say, okay, it sounds like the skipper really wants this one, so let's make it.
It seems as though Rachel has deferred to Tracy a lot more on what Tracy's throwing as they've gotten to know each other more as teammates. Just carved over enough by Miscue to miss their own #1 counter. It serves as a guard as well.
I think you need to draw here. You need to get shot rock. Even right down to it. It's behind the tee line, so.
Yeah, probably have to go all the way to it if you're coming through, as the short slash on that yellow is there. If there's space between.
They don't like the look of it, though. They're going to hit some guards here, and this.
A little questionable decision here, I think.
I think so. They know that draw. They watch Tracy throw it. You get one right on there, and you know, get a little mistake from Rachel. Even if you make, you might be able to make something good, chip off it, and roll behind the other one. And could be sometimes when you're playing the best team in the world, you think we got to make sure we're in the game late.
Oh,
made
really
it
well
perfect.
Done.
Left a center guard though.
Does clear all three, but as you said, Brent, the draw around the center is open, and they are still sitting shot. And you could say the opposite too with this situation, that you're playing the best team in the world. We have an opportunity to possibly score, so let's take it. Let's try to get two by playing this draw. Now they make the shot that they're playing perfectly, and Homan is still drawing underneath the guard to sit two.
Nice chance here for Team Homan. You always like your skip throwing a couple of draws early. Rachel made a nice in-turn draw on the first. Chance to put some pressure on with a nice in-turn draw on the second. You know her hits are going to be there when they're needed. That's the one almost guarantee.
Ice isn't affecting that. some room to curl still.
We have to curl it. You're open. You gotta curl it. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Looks pretty buried to me.
Pretty good spot.
Really nice.
I think it's pretty good, as Tracy said. It would have been nice if it wasn't going to be buried to be a rock or two higher, like it wasn't going to be fully buried, but you also didn't want to leave the chase through the hole, so I think that's more than adequate. And Yoshimura can get to the nose here, I think, though, and just tap this back to the back four and stay there and make it difficult on Rachel. So another tricky one here. Really all the pressure's been on Team Yoshimura so far, but they've been up to the task in the first end. The old skipper's deuce maybe here, Ty. Just tap this back four. You need to be shot. It would be awesome if you kept a little angle so that Rachel would have to pick it rather than be able to pick it across the top. If the angle's a little bit high on the first one here, then at least the pick will be more difficult. But she does have to tap this a good 2 rocks at least, almost out of the 4 foot, like, to be shot.
You'd like to get to at least 3/4 of it if you can. Because if you hit less than that, even 2/3 maybe, with enough weight to move it out of shot, you're probably rolling open enough that Rachel can get to the inside.
Can't be heavy here because it won't get the curl, but it looks like she's nailed the weight.
It's got to get up just a little bit, not to roll open. That's pretty good. Shot rock.
Absolutely perfect.
What a shot.
If you got to walk down and place them, that's exactly what you would have done.
That's a great touch. Great line call, too, to get enough buried that that's just playing right into a jam unless Rachel decides to try to just feather it over the top through the hole.
A little surprised she's not. Like, even if she smashes it off the back yellow, that shot rock yellow, like third shot yellow, is not accessible. Not for my skill set anyway. Is there a hole there? I doubt it. Maybe, but man, that looks hard. So I'm surprised Rachel's not just bombing one down here and trying to pick it clean. And if it does tickle off the back yellow, it still has them forced.
That's a shot that she plays when she's confident, feeling good, which is most of the time, the vast majority. But they are playing the guard.
I think she's drawn around, actually, trying to draw in for shot.
Around a top button?
Yeah, because I think red is shot. I'm not sure, though. You might be right. Maybe she's guarding. I thought she tapped, like, back four, bury half of it.
Looks like 4 foot slide and weight. Just trying to get a piece underneath this rock in the top of the 4 foot. Lot of weight. That will tick. Rolled a shot, but wide open for Yoshimura for a hit for 2.
Round the horn for 3. Anyone? Hammy McMillan Sr. in the building?
Senior was in the building in Moose Jaw.
I saw him on TV and saw him on social media. That's great to see.
He loved coming up to the broadcast booth during games to talk to me. not like say, can I sit in? He'd stand next to the booth and talk to me. Hey, how you doing, Senior? Yeah. Love Hammy. It's good seeing him again. Obviously a great time for him with his son winning another world championship in Moose Jaw.
Just nothing they could do with Rachel's there. She was just a little bit heavy out of her hand, and they knew if they swept it, it would be too far. So it might have been better off to sweep it by, though. This open hit is easier than a draw to the side of the 4 foot, as Rachel just proved. But here we go.
Open hit for 2. Yoshimura Sayaka needs to be full 4 foot for this second point. A little bit of a carve, a little curl enough, just enough. So will be a 2 for Yoshimura. They now lead Rachel Homan 2-1 after 2 ends here in our quarterfinal action.
Every day, you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town, or many things to many towns, all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move to places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all three.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
Well, partner, you called it. Skips deuce from Yoshimura. Her last 2 stones, they score 2. Leading Homan 2-1. Third end here at the AMJ Players Championship, final Grand Slam of the season.
So now it's a bit of a dream start for Yoshimura. Maybe a little bit of frustration on Team Homan. But a skips deuce, and there wasn't a ton that Rachel could really do about that. It's not like she made any real big mistakes, but that's the tough part about curling. One of the tough parts about curling is that when the other team makes really good shots and they have the hammer, sometimes there's just nothing you can do but give up a deuce.
First stone for Omiana, just biting top 8 foot. Homan immediately going to the corner guard. A little more curl going this direction as well.
Nice corner guard from Sarah Wilkes. Always want to be right on that logo. Just happen to put the logo in the right spot at all of these events, it seems. Anything higher, it's too easy to chase. I think Yoshimura will guard here, but because the first one wasn't far enough into the rings, isn't at least full 8 or even biting the 4-foot, Sarah will be able to make the come around the corner and be shot rock. But this one looks really high. Might block that come around, actually. It's so high. This was not the call. Wanted that guarding the red one and tighter, so missed on 2 accounts, and they'll get to chase this now and open up 2 guards that are better for Homan than they are for Yoshimura.
Yeah, no question, Brent. They were going to be eyeballing going onto the corner if that guard was made. But with that stone open, easy hit decision. Rolls towards the wing a little bit. A much more comfortable situation, Brent, for Homan, removing that stone, as that could be the trouble one for you later in the end. They're not real concerned about that red guard. So definitely a green light special to attack.
Yeah, I would expect their next one, unless this rolls in the way, like back to center line, I would expect their next shot to be a come around for Emma.
Yeah.
But it is the third end, and sometimes teams will play a little more defensive with the hammer in 3, but they are down one. I wouldn't want to waste any ends. If I'm the better team, which nobody's going to be able to argue that Homan's not the better team in this game, then I don't want to miss any ends. I want the game to go right. I want to play as many ends as possible, because I know over the long haul we're going to win more ends than you are. So if we waste one and then we lose one end characteristically, that's going to give us a better chance of losing the game. And I don't know, call me crazy. I'd rather give myself a better chance to win the game.
And we saw that last night too in the game against Kim. 5th end, Homan going to the corner guard as opposed to playing 0 or 2. They just don't want to take any ends off. As you said, when you feel you're the better team, why shorten the game? Continue to attack. Askew playing around the outside, rolling under the corner. He goes to the open, but moves the stone open as well.
So I was curious if there was a hole between those two. We now know. So it's a bit of a tough situation to generate a deuce then with that, if that's the case. You're going to have to do it with a hit and roll behind that corner, because that's where you need to be really hidden and not chaseable. So good force guards here for Yoshimura and a chance to hit and roll in lie 2. Don't want to leave this open where, even if you over-roll it, if you nose it, that's going to give Team Homan a chance to roll behind that corner guard, and that's how they're going to set up the deuce on you. It'd be better to peel this out than to nose it. If that leaves town, that's not what they called, but I don't think that's bad at all.
No, staying there wasn't really going to do much for you.
See Rachel's body language, like, I don't see any good draws, so we got to get something behind this yellow one. And if she does get it behind the yellow, it's going to be behind the tee line. But at least going to force Yoshimura to a tricky draw that's going to have to over curl the center guard and get all the way over behind the corner guard, which is pretty tough. See if Emma can make this 6-foot roll. This looks like a flash.
Yeah, this is really curling hard.
Does catch a piece, but a little tight out of the hand, whether that was slide or release. Rachel didn't like it early.
Emma had some tight side misses last night too on similar shots that just weren't getting there, and almost always on the in turn too.
See, everybody should watch these. We give away all sorts of good information. Scouting reports, ice reports, you know, just general like philosophical thoughts on life.
That's the most important.
Probably the most valuable. And last night on the couch, the things you could have learned, like, did you know about the peanut butter slide? You'd heard about it. I'm sure it's folklore in the U.S., but maybe you hadn't in Boston. That old Broomstones Bonspiel back in the day. You never heard of the peanut butter slide?
I had not heard of that, no.
Oh,
Still haven't, but I guess we'll see.
It involves a streaker with peanut butter on his ass.
I thought that might be part of it.
It was true.
Which is why I didn't ask.
Too late. Now you know.
Yeah. I'll get more details later. Now I do want to know more.
Hitting the corner guard here, trying to roll for double centers. I'm not sure this is advisable.
This is trying to do too much, Brent. That's the definition of it.
I mean, that red guard's not super dangerous for Yoshimura. I think Rachel's probably going to go around, though. She could peel it, just go to the next end.
It's a little high.
Yeah.
I think if it's maybe a foot or two deeper, maybe you're coming to top 4.
Story time.
Yeah,
I don't think Tracy's going to miss this one. So for those who weren't tuned in last night, I'll tell Ty the story. The shorter version. The couch version's always longer.
Okay.
So we went down to a Bonspiel when we were young, just out of juniors with Johnny Moe, and he brought a buddy, and we were staying with other friends in an RV, and in the parking lot, had a great time. Super awesome club. I'm sure you've been there over the years. And
yeah, beautiful club.
Yeah, hospitality was great, and we lost out in the semifinal, but our buddies' team from Ontario, the Peelers are back, the Banana Peelers.
Oh, yeah.
Our buddies were in the final against Ragnar Camp.
Oh,
you know who?
I remember Ragnar.
Yeah, he was a world-class curler back in the day, and anyway, it was about 4-0, and Johnny's buddy who had brought Johnny's friend he brought had said, "Has there ever been a streaker in curling?" And we said, "Well, not that we know of." He says, "Do you think it's a good idea?" And we were like, "Well, yeah, I mean, it's a great idea for you to do it, but not for me."
I think for you, it's a fantastic idea.
So we went and he was getting ready and, you know, stretching, making sure everything was good to go. And was near the kitchen and decided, what about some peanut butter on my ass, too?
Yeah.
And we did say to him, as long as you don't slide on the game sheet.
Yeah.
So we had some class. So he went and he did it.
You guys are the voices of reason in this situation.
Oh, most of the time.
Not telling him not to streak, but not to go on the sheet where the game is being played.
Don't Americans love streakers? It's at every sporting event.
Apparently.
So he did it on the sheet beside, and it kind of rattled the other team, and they really thought he had shit himself. And anyway, Ragnar was up 4-0 and lost the game, lost the final. Our buddies came back, so it was a momentum swing play. And then we got suspended from the Bonspiel for 5 years.
Worth it, though, probably.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we would have went back, maybe not, but wouldn't have had that story.
No. Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to hear about it now.
Right?
So, I mean, for us, worth it.
See?
We appreciate your sacrifice.
I found it funny. Thank God we didn't have cell phones or anything back then. And there's no video. It's only a story. Trust me, it did happen.
It's better that way.
It is better that way.
And you live in the moment then, too. Not everybody's on their phone, recording it. They're actually watching the streaker
and
in all his glory.
Everybody's envisioning it in their head right now instead of seeing a video that's usually a letdown.
Yeah, it would have gone viral immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Way better that way. And sidebar to your point about us getting to see all the games and all the sheets. The teams are starting to catch on to that a little bit, maybe for next season. We had Vincent Stenberg, coach for Team Vrana, in the booth last night. And we were talking about exactly that, and during the game, I'm talking about the lines that we've seen on the sheet. We just done a game on that sheet previously. Says, I think we may be chatting with you during these events next year. You guys up in the booth.
That shit ain't free.
Yeah, I didn't say it was.
You can listen for free, but you can't come chat to us for free.
Yeah. You can come in and get paid, too.
I heard on the Masters, as I'm having breakfast before I come over this morning, they're talking about the morning coverage, and one of the announcers is saying, I sure hope the players are watching this because the information is super valuable.
There you go.
Where the flags are, what's breaking, on number 2, the short left miss in the bunker is not an option today. Things like that. Home Team Live, making it easier to read the ice. We have every game covered all year long. Whether it has commentary or not is a different story, but there will be commentary on at least one sheet, quite often two, as is the case this morning. Chelsea Carey and John Cullen bringing you the action from the Hasselberg-Ha game. It's 2-0 Hasselberg playing the third. As Rachel's going to blank this one up for us.
Final stone. Third end indeed. Rachel Homan playing the out-turn blank. Called, shot made. Blank it is. Homan retains hammer through 3 ends, trailing 2-1 onto the fourth.
Let me say what's best for me, to feel at ease, to feel happy. Lovely weather with the breeze, the simplest things. Sad love.
Rio Mare. Great taste needs little. Prime quality tuna and selected olive oil. Rio Mare, the real taste of Italy.
Just backside of tee, though, hits the brakes.
Did you get that?
Pretty good. The more consistent the ice is across the board, the more often we see that shot. It is April. It is raining outside. It hasn't been the best weather. It's so tropical in here. We got bananas. We got peel, peel, peel. I think I see some Deuce hats beside them this morning.
Yeah. Walked over with the Banana Boys this morning. Just happened to be leaving when I was, and they said that they had some issues at the hotel because the names for the rooms was just bananas. So it was Banana Room 1, Banana Room 2. And I asked them, did they have an official name for the group yet? And they looked at me like I was nuts and said, bananas. That's it. Why do you need anything different? A fun bunch of guys. I've seen them at a local watering hole a couple nights ago as well.
Rachel does not like the 3 center guards, and I don't blame her.
Can get rid of the tight 2 fairly easily with where they're set up. So.
I wouldn't hate going around and playing the same shots Sarah played. Get 2 in there, and then they might come around the center. I think they're going to run the corner, and then you could deal with this. But Rachel's standing up, which usually isn't a good sign.
That just gets the 1. That's, again, another tight miss from Emma on the intern side. Just maybe not getting out to the broom. I would believe that Rachel's probably got the room in the right spot, and when you call the sweep immediately on all these shots, that's usually a tell.
So we either keep doing that, or one of us fixes something, or both of us fix something.
Yeah.
The both fix it leads to misses the other way. But I would love to see just a quick conversation between Rachel and Emma just to say, okay, Rach, what am I doing? Or Emma, here's what I'm seeing. I'm just going to give you a little bit more ice. But
I'm not going to like this one either.
If we're going to get tapped into the rings, it's actually perfect anyway, so don't worry about it.
Right in the trap.
Still 3 centers, though, which Rachel won't love. This is a bit messy, which misses lead to messy, but lead to entertaining for us. Could do the exact same shot as Sarah.
That was my other shot, too.
Knowing that Yoshimura is going to probably tap that shooter that they just put there. And you don't love it, but I don't see much else unless you're going to run the high center into that one that just ended up there and make that double and roll off. Roll the dice, put some serious pressure on Team Yoshimura. And especially because you know this is a very makeable shot. You've seen it 5 minutes ago, and heavy and tight, not a great combo. Would have been close to through if it didn't run into that, but
yeah, that's same heavy miss. I wouldn't call that a miss, just on the heavy side. They're still lined up fairly well, but there is a port. Those yellows, Brent, starting to pile up in the house.
Play the double into one of those. Could follow that. I mean, Emma got by so much, and she's heavy. Like, you can definitely get shot on that out turn. You could draw to the side of the button, I think. And this up 1. A lot of options for this. Hit and roll into the 4-foot, hit and roll to the back one.
You need to make it, though. This is one, if you end up nose, Rachel gets in again. Things are getting a little tense.
Definitely time to make one. Pick a speed that you cannot go across the top, and then anything on the inside is good. Doesn't look like it's, you'd have to throw it pretty hard to hit, 2/3 and go across the top, so. Trying to make the double. I think they've picked whatever touch the head is, which usually is peel.
Out turn in off here.
Hello.
Sticks it to top 4.
Isn't shot, but a hell of a shot. Well thrown, well called.
Kotani Yuna with a beauty. big make there for her team.
What do you do if your team home and don't you play the intern come around now? I don't know. This is dicey. Well, you're one run back away if you make that from being giving up steals. This is a defensive call, but maybe necessary, Ty?
Yeah, I think her thought is if she plays the intern draw, you got to make it really good because Yoshimura has the outturn tap on her own in the top of the forefoot on the other side. You're not going to be able to do much with it if that's made. Clearing attempt for Fleury. To really pull that rock across to get it on line, and I don't know if she got it all the way back there.
She seems to think she's... Oh. That's better than they called.
Yeah, I think that was crossing it, little Brooklyn action, but saw on the slide, Brett, the rock just never got to the line. It was kind of on her shoulder and tried to bring it back to center.
Technical's always important, but on the high hard ones, if you don't slide on line, they get real tough.
Yeah, that's missed when you let it go, usually, but it was on the right side. It's a very good result.
So chasing the back one here, the downside for Team Homan is it did open up shot rock, but
Yuna, another big shot for Team Yoshimura.
Should be able to hold this one. I don't think it's hard enough to kill it.
Oh. Feathers the top red.
Whose shot?
Yeah, may have taken them out a shot as well. It's very close. Rachel says now it's yellow. Worst case scenario for Yoshimura.
Intern draw beside it. Okay. Okay. Touch it, one in. We need to touch it for all your names to be shot.
But I think a little short is better.
Even if we hit up the roll, quarter roll, minute jumps.
High 14? Yeah, okay.
Bit of a seesaw battle here in the fourth end here. Really good chance if Tracy can draw in here to lie two. Rachel's one of the only skips that right out of the hand she says looks light or looks heavy.
Yeah, she's not calling the sweep, Brett. She's just telling him what it looks like.
She was right, it's light.
It is light. It's going to be on a good line, but not quite going to get there for shot rock. Not a bad spot. Certainly on a good angle to bring the big end into play.
Tough to get in there right now for a second point. Nowhere really for Japanese ladies to go. Maybe a guard. Careful that Rachel doesn't run it in there. Wide intern, but if it over curls, Rachel comes through and maybe makes that double. I wouldn't play that. It looks like they've decided on the guard.
Does look like, yep, guard call. Never fun guarding one against a possible three. Angles aren't great on any of the yellow guards to run in, though, for Homan. So if you are playing a run in, it's probably going to be red.
There's a wide intern draw for two, I would think. If you get dead buried behind that tight red one, I think you're going to be second shot. So the other thing that Rachel might do, I know it's a red one coming in, but you could run that one into that yellow you just threw after they make this guard. Opens up the draw for two. But but it would also open up the freeze for Yoshimura on the back shot rock. So going to be an interesting decision here if this is made for Rachel. The reigning world, two-time reigning world champions.
That's a good guard from Yoshimura. Does the job.
Pretty much right where they wanted it. I think you're drawing. That's your chance to come in. If you made the good draw to the top 4 tee line, the question is, would Yoshimura run that red one straight back? And if she made it, you're not going to like the result at all.
Well, it's a risky play playing the run with how those angles are set up for Yoshimura. And I think Rachel's okay with leaving that. Get second shot now.
Yeah, if it comes around as we're looking at the overhead, if this stops just biting the tee line, kind of side button, that red right on the nose coming straight back might be a run double to lie 2. But you're right, if she misses, it's going to be an easy 3 potentially. And if she hits it high, it might be a draw for 4.
Yeah.
You have to decide also when you're playing a team that you know is going to beat you a lot. When you get your chances, do you take them? You know, if you're Rachel, you probably don't play that shot. But if you're trying to beat Rachel, you might need a big shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Rachel sees this angle now. She's going to try and make it by peeling. I don't understand.
Yellow, red in. Yeah, so opens it up and possibly makes the run too.
Okay.
So she's thinking, I guess, we're opening it up no matter what if we make contact with that second one. And it's really tough to hit it at a bad angle with it going that direction, with the yellow going over the top of the red and then shooting it back towards the pile. Really tough to not clear the red if you make contact with the yellow.
She's trying to open up that hole between the yellow, red. Yeah, and she's trying to make the double peel. Yellow to the left, red, but she's trying to open up the hole right where Tracy's broom is.
Yeah.
Because she can come through there and hit third shot into second shot for 3 if Yoshimura doesn't take that away. And if she does take it away, then she'll make that draw for 2. And the bonus here is she might lie 2 after this shot. So tons of options here.
Little positive on the release, even for Rachel. Oh, and just wrong.
That wasn't even close to what they were trying, though. Rachel's going to be angry here. Rightfully so. That I don't know if they weren't on the same page or what, but they hit that way too thick. That needed to be hit an inch or 2 thinner with peel. Like, total disaster now, though. Silence is deafening, Tyler. I want to hear something out of somebody here.
Yeah, very quiet.
Quick WTF counts. Or something.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing out here?
You got any other streaker stories you could fill the time with quick?
Now would be a good time. Maybe get Team Homan laughing a little.
Mm-hmm. Bella liked that one.
I wasn't there, Bella. So a chance to lie.
It's no video.
3 buried. Not buried, I guess, but 2 half buried. Be an awkward draw if you just put this top 12. Rachel would have to play, actually there's a biter at the back too, so 4. Rachel would have to play that wide double, which she would probably make, but not like playing it against 4. I want to put this right frozen on it, a little bit across, and then that double, you kind of get in the way of it.
Yeah.
And there's no draws, really, no easy draws out turn through the hole, but here we go anyway, Tyler.
In-turn draw, trying to make the score very tough for Homan.
Lots of room, so I'm not sure.
I think you want this to stop, ladies.
It needs to be in the house, though. Don't leave this short. Make it extra expensive.
That's a pretty good spot.
Not bad at all.
That's a tough out-turn draw. So in-turn around the outside may be your play, but yeah, she is looking at that out-turn.
Rachel's going to play that double, isn't she?
I think she's talking draw.
Ooh, that's the only way to give up 4.
Or if you prefer.
She's going to play the double. Like, let's stop wasting time here.
Or if you prefer the double, that's good too.
Yeah. Doesn't look easy.
But if they steal one,
We getting over to this double yet, Tyler? Or what are we talking about here?
I think they're trying to nudge it that way. I think eventually that's going to be the call.
I think these out straight.
Bella, double.
Whichever one you like. I like either shot.
She likes the double, right?
She likes the double. I mean, it's in a spot where as long as you're not thin, you're never going to give up more than 1. The draw, if you're a little bit off and it's an awkward path, you could easily give up 4, hit a guard, and we got action anyway.
Big shots. So Homan up against 4, playing peel weight. Coming off the winger. Anywhere inside, she won't give up more than 1, but pretty big spots she can hit on the inside to make this double with her final stone in the first half of this feature matchup in the quarterfinals. Doesn't move it far enough to score, but outcounts the other 3. Will be a steal for Yoshimura. They beat Homan earlier this week, aiming to do it once again. 3-1, they lead at the break.
Every day, you go new places. A small change in how you do things, or moving your things to a whole new town. Or many things to many towns, all at once. No matter how small the move, it can be a big leap from where you are now. You've got it in you to go new places. So do we. We go there every day. We're here to help you move. To places on the map, in the mind, in the heart, or all 3.
Go new places with AMJ Campbell. Contact us at 888-AMJ-MOVE or amjcampbell.com.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Second half of action underway here in our feature matchup, the quarterfinals on the women's side of the AMJ Players Championship here from the Mattamy Athletic Center in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Tyler George here with Brent Lang. Yoshimura leading Homan 3-1, going to the fifth. Brent, you had a few questions about not just the shot calls, but sweep calls late in the end there for Team Homan.
Yeah, and I've been kind of saying Tracy's praises for a while on how she is the calming influence on the line calls, and she makes so many great line calls, but she missed that one on Rachel's first. Rachel was screaming, which isn't abnormal. You know, Rachel plays with a lot of intensity and has a lot to say. That's part of her personality, and it works extremely well for this team. But on that one, you couldn't hit it into the middle one. Like, we're trying to pick it across the top or, you know, tick the second one. And it's not like they missed it by 6 inches, but they missed it by probably 2 inches on a peel waiter. So didn't work out very well for them. Rachel had a tough one on her last and wanted to protect a little. And got a steal. So Yoshimura up 2 after 4 and in a pretty good spot to win this game.
Well, Mia Anna's had a strong game. They're a good pair to start this end off. Does leave side that plays towards the corner guard, though. And Brent back to the opposite side now for the corners, where they believe they're getting more curl. And that corner guard starting off the fourth end, too, that came into play, because that was way too tight to the center line. So it wasn't really a usable stone for them. And the center of the sheet got really jumbled up. There was no draw path there. A lot of times those turn into steals, and that's what we saw.
Turned into an awkward end, right? Just kind of shrapnel, as you might call it, everywhere. Stones everywhere, and awkward paths for draws. Sarah made a good one. You know, Emma didn't make that come around. Would have went a long way if that was top 8 to change the end. And more of what we've seen this week. Athletes are a little bit unsure with the ice and second guessing themselves, and then maybe not fully committing to the shot before they throw it, and leading to some uncharacteristic misses, which is entertaining for us, Tyler, but maybe not so much for the teams.
Yeah, this will be interesting now to watch, with Homan trailing only a 2-point deficit, but you know, even if you get the 2 in 5, tied up playing 6 without, team that has Hammer has a fairly distinct advantage of likely having Hammer twice in the last 3 ends. So the #1 ranked team in the world up against it. How will they react? This dig here from Yoshimura.
Perfect speed, arms in the air, even a little broom twirl. I like it. Confidence, like momentum.
Oh no, Derek Aho. Feeling it a little bit right now.
Nothing
Looks
wrong
like
with
Kotani actually at that position.
Nothing wrong with a straight freeze here on the middle one, and then if they freeze, then you make the double off this and get 2 stacked on top of shot rock. But also nothing wrong with this, hit and roll. Wouldn't hate the roll behind the corner though if you're rolling, personally. Emma's struggles continue here today. That worked out great though. Get it behind the corner guard, some backing, push the red one back to the T line and stay in front of it.
Yeah, that one was an out turn, but again on the narrow side too. And see the body language from Emma right now, Brent. Just kind of standing by herself by the hog lines. Now a little more chatting with Tracy as Tracy came to engage her a little more, which is good. We'll talk about what you're seeing.
Yeah, when a teammate's struggling, you got to make sure they don't go into the cone of silence. You got to talk to them. Wayne Maddaw would come over and give you a little encouragement, eh? And even a bum tap from the old Couples Retreat movie.
Yeah.
Going with the guard here.
Staying aggressive.
Looks good for now. Does Rachel go out, turn freeze though, and load it up, or is she going to deal with the centers? Wheels are turning. Sure like that freeze.
You won't be shot. You can do that. Roll on. Open up the back.
Tough to roll on off a halfway guard, but is possible.
Can't hear, sorry.
I can't hear her either, Rach. Tell her to put her mic on.
It's a pretty good expression there, too.
We're going to start fining players for not wearing mics on the stream. What do you think?
That's one addition we're going to make for contracts for next season, too. And Brent, for our own, one that I feel very strongly about with sometimes teams starting games a little slowly is we don't have to start the broadcast until someone throws a guard.
Not a bad rule. I can get behind that one.
Yeah.
So they did decide on the freeze here. I mean, down 2, need to make something happen. Can't waste ends. It's not panic time, but this is a very makeable shot, although we have missed it again for Team Homan.
That's another narrow, light miss from Miskew. That's been just the consistent miss for her the last couple games.
Try something different. Miss one wide and see what it feels like, or have a conversation here. Rachel hasn't really talked to her. Emma hasn't, that I've heard, asked for any feedback, and they continue to do the same thing and get the same results. Now they're in trouble.
Yeah, this lineup is
not
not good with these stones.
No real run backs. Tracy's going to have to work her magic and clean up some stuff in the middle. Try and give Rachel a chance for a skips deuce. Looks like Team Ha's only playing with 3. Have you overheard our compadres there as to where the 4th player is?
Yeah, Mr. Cullen, what's going on with the 3-person lineup there? He's in his own little world.
Oh, wow.
No, it's very professional to talk to.
Too professional.
The other game while you're doing it. What's going on there, John? We're so locked into our game, we weren't, paying attention because we're professionals. That's perfect.
Should we send Banana Bella down to investigate?
Our on-site sideline reporter.
Pretty good guard there, but a chance here now to get 2 in the rings, and that was just too heavy. But a tough shot here, and probably still not going to be shot.
See what Tracy Fleury can come up with. Her team needing a make. This is starting to pile up on Team Homan. It's something we're very used to saying.
Does it stay for 3rd? That's going to be important.
It's a big spin. Doesn't get it. But 4th count.
Also moved that red one out to where the angles are good to get shot. But the red one will stay most of the time. I don't think. Yeah, they might be able to get to the nose. Timeout. Good timeout here. This is what happens when you play super aggressive and then miss one by half and they make a good one. It's like, whoa, I thought we had a steal here. Now we're looking at 2 or 3.
You know who's not coming out for this timeout right now?
King Nick.
Yeah, Nicholas Adine will not be out there. Gotta believe he's watching somewhere right now.
I would think so.
I would hope.
It's only, if he's home, it's only 5 or 6 in the afternoon there. So do you come down and bump that red and roll low, like bump it back 8? Do you guard it? You can't really guard it because they have access to shot rock on the other side. Or do you freeze on the yellow one where the broom is now? Then the red, red, yellow, red, there might be a triple, but you hope it goes across onto the other yellow.
I like the freeze.
Out-turn freeze to the yellow one?
I think so. That's
I
what
don't
they're
hate it.
looking at.
Even if it's a little bit short of it, like top 8.
Yeah, it's going to say a couple inches short of it, so it's not dragging back to the counter, too. A little separation's good.
If you wanted to get real fancy, and you don't see this called very often, the old split guard where you come down and in-turn and tap that center guard over a rock and roll your shooter over, and you've guarded the hole and the red, yellow, red combo. Risky, but that would probably be the best shot.
Does look like the broom is down for the freeze. Everyone seems to be on the same page.
We've got a home team live first tonight. We're going to have all 4 games with commentary tonight for the semifinals. So both men's semis and both women's semis will have commentary.
Could be anybody up here in the booth.
You never know. We'll be
gotta tune in.
Scouring the crowd. This is light, doesn't tick.
So the key will be, we're bringing players in. Who do we think is in the condition to call a 7:30 game tonight without 18 hours of notice?
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll depend who wins these games and the next games. And
when we say it could be anybody, it
could
really
be anybody.
It can't though, because there's a few that it really can't be them.
See if Tracy can get to the nose here with some weight and potentially lie 3. Oh, it actually over curled.
Oh, what a terrible break. Pushes it to the open. And now there's a hit and roll available for Yoshimura under a wall of stones. The yellow rock is still open in the top of the 12-foot, which they may need.
Might want to just draw. I think
yeah,
they
you
see
can just
that.
weld in that pocket. That run doesn't help you anyways.
You make that hit and roll, Rachel's going to have a slash double probably to lie 2, but interesting end here and lots of opportunities for Team Homan with 3 yellows in play and Yoshimura choosing not to remove one here. I don't blame her though. I think this is the right call. Freeze right there, and then this angle doesn't help Rachel at all. Even if you got right to the nose of the red one would be quite good. Needs to definitely outcount the 2 and the 12-foot. If it didn't, and then it needs to be in the 4-foot because it needs to cut off this angle raise. Rachel's not going to miss that to lie 2. So bit of a must make here if they want to win this game and not win the game, but not give up multiple points here. Straight draw to the button line, so same line they just had, really. Just need 8 feet more weight.
Should know the path. Has to be better thrown. Really talking a lot about this in the hack. Outturn freeze attempt here. Yoshimura Sayaka. Really put the clamps down on this end if made.
Can be a little heavy as long as line's close. Even if you were to bump the red or chip off the yellow. A lot of good options here. Can't be wide. Sounds like it's wide. They don't carve, obviously, because Nicholas Eden coaches them.
Yeah, he does not like carve.
That's not great. There's a run double here now. Needed to, if they carved that, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, really should have turned that one over. That run in could sit a pile.
Might be a straight double. Might tick the other yellow, though, and then go straight into the other one.
I think Rachel likes the run in based on the conversation.
Planted on shot rock, and if you just tickle that top one first, might even be able to make it. You can make it off the back one. If you just miss it, you're going to move the top one too.
Should move it, yeah.
Tracy just threw this shot, so there should be no guesswork on the line.
And Rachel liked it right away too. They only looked at the double on the opposite side very briefly. In-turn angle slash attempt for Homan. Stick this on the number 1 counter and sit 2. Could possibly move the number 3 counter as well.
Oh, disaster again. Just not quite making it. Again, close, but no cigar.
Yeah, in-turn draw attempt now for Yoshimura to make it a very tough score for Homan. Where's your ideal spot here, Brett?
Just right beside the other one. You don't want to be right to the button here. If you're a little heavy here, you might give up a double for 2. So really anywhere out counting that side one. So anywhere biting the 8-foot, more than half buried, that doesn't go all the way to the back button. Even if it's on the tee line, I think you're okay. But if it was right beside it, how does Rachel get in there?
May have to play the angle run on the higher yellow guard.
Yeah, if there's
through
a
that
there.
hole, maybe.
Tough times here for Team Homan, and a huge opportunity for Team Yoshimura. Can she capitalize one more time and potentially take a 4-point lead, or at least take a 1-point lead on the hammer to 6?
Should see some good curl here. We've seen draws on this line come up short and over curl, Brent.
Need to make sure it's in the rings in second shot. That would be disaster. They like it.
That line's really good right now.
Looks really good. Don't sweep
look
it
at
past.
this shot.
Right there is where I would put it.
That's really good. Great touch there from Yoshimura.
Great team shot, no panic. Managed perfectly for speed. And when you get the speed right, almost always on these draws, you know what? The line ends up pretty good. You gotta throw it pretty bad not to get the right curl if you have the right weight on a draw. So a must make here. Can't afford to go down 4 after 5, but needs to go a bit wider. Rachel's probably won't curl quite as much as Yoshimura. It's just the way she throws it. Might want to throw one of her keep it there releases here.
Keep it there being the little bit of a positive release more than the straight through. Did you hear that conversation in the hack so much with Rachel and Sarah Wilkes? Big last shot here for Homan, needing a draw to the side of the 4-foot for a single point against 2.
Tracy calling line right away.
I'd be careful on weight too, out this far. I've seen rocks gliding on this path. Yeah, really well done. Great sweep, great read. Just enough. Homan does get the 1, but Yoshimura will have hammer and a 1-point lead, 3-2, on to the 6th end.
Going undefeated through a national championship and being able to actually pull it off and win it is just an absolute dream come true.
Having 2 new junior players new to the team, Kibo and I really felt like our experience was what we had to bring out and share in that final day in Lethbridge. And drawing on our experience, we knew that 2 older guys on the team, we kind of had to remain calm and act as leaders, trying to basically share the excitement and the joy that I have for the game and the passion with younger people, older people, people starting. That, I would say, is the biggest thing that I want to take for myself and show others, is the love that I have for this sport.
Yeah, seeing Laurier continue to succeed and achieve amazing things is just so exciting. Whenever I check in and see how they're doing at U Sports and see them winning and succeeding, it's just so exciting. And I remember my time there so fondly, and I'm just so excited for the group that's there right now.
Really want this to finish if they can. Still stay out of the rings. No problem there. Good pair from Wilkes. Omiya Anna. Love to stack another one in the house. Top 8 underneath those centers. A lot of room this time.
The other options go beside it. Don't really want to hook it. Really finishing now, though. Will it get there?
Yeah, pretty well done. A little on the high side, but good shot.
So Rachel needs to move that for 2 reasons. One is you're either trying to get something back button to freeze to, or you're trying to open up the button behind the center guards. And I would have thought she would have tapped the other direction on the nose, but this works too.
Yeah, this is Tracy's draw, but only ended up there.
Really want to move these stones if you can. Ball is 7, so won't be moving them much. Now 8-9. Favorable spin at the end there too.
Created a pocket, but everything's still in front of the tee line, so. Yeah, if I'm Yoshimura, I think I get to that pocket first. I like this. I mean, tendency is to maybe peel, and then Rachel gets one in the pocket, and there's a guard and 2 kind of frozen. So I think draw one right into the pocket. If you free that up, great. Don't move the red one to the back button. The longer things stay in front of the tee line, the more it's in Yoshimura's best interest.
Talking about playing that freeze into the pocket. The initial thought, Brent, always would be get rid of that guard as soon as possible, but the thought here being you're making Homan have to waste another 2 shots if you weld into the pocket. There's really no way in for Rachel. And those guards aren't helping you if you can't move the stones in the forefoot.
Also, if I'm Yoshimura, and I know we're up 1, but this might be the chance to really put the game out of reach. If we can get 2 or even a 3 somehow, then, you know, the longer you let Team Homan kind of kick around, the better chance they have to get back in it and have that one fantastic, perfect 8 shots in an end to take a 3 or steal 1 or 2 or do something that is going to turn this game around. So freeze this right in the pocket. And Rachel's in a bit of trouble. There won't be any doubles on the reds, and
I like the call.
No way to get to the button.
Great line if they can get it there. Not bad.
Not bad.
Would have liked to have it secured right in that pocket, I think, but a good angle at the least. We got a 4-1 lead on A, so the Banana Boys are going to have a riot with these last couple ends, I think.
Biggest challenge with that one is it over curled a bit. Well, if you freeze, you would just hit it high and lie 2, if you ever could. I think that's the shot.
I just don't see how this here is going to help us.
It doesn't. I like the freeze.
Okay, if we put this here, it's going to dead jam and be shot still.
Rachel doesn't see very many great. Yeah, exactly.
you're Yoshimura, you feel good about your decision right now with how long they're taking to figure this out, too.
So they are planning to move it by the sounds of it, which is fine.
And a miscue, in-turn tap. A little on the tight side again. Really curling.
Jeez, this is a disaster. Get by the guard and it's disaster. Now that ruined the angle they had, made it worse anyway, and lying 2, and now if they beat him in there, this is getting ugly for Team Homan. Good news is if you're gonna go ugly early. You need some time to get out of it. And it is still second stones, so.
Where's the steal coming from now, Brad?
Well, it's going to require a couple of misses. If this is made well, like if it's frozen right in the pocket, Rachel's almost going to have to blow it up, like hit something hard and know that she's going to leave them shot, but open up the button. It's the steal's going to come from a miss on Yoshimura's last, for sure. But you're going to need a break. If you could get a bit of a wide and heavy here would help. Didn't get that, though. This is really bending.
Katana Yuna trying to get this into the pocket.
This is perfect.
That's really good. That's what they were looking for in the last one. Boy, that is a wall of red stones at good angles.
There's not even a good blast.
And the way to look at it is, yes, they're up 1 with, yes, there's 2 centers, but if this was the first end, you'd be thrilled. You'd think, how do we not get 3 at this point?
But Rachel's going to pull out all the stops to steal here, so move stuff around, and she doesn't have to be shot until the very last shot, which is good news because she can't be shot now. Time out and have a look. Let's listen in and see if they've got any. Anybody got any ideas? Looks like we're dead, she says. I think that's the best call.
You really need to move both stones playing it too. Rachel wants the 2 reds that are deeper to both be behind the tee line after the shot, but as Rachel said, we can't roll off. We have to get to enough of this or they're gone.
I think hack is the max weight I'd like to see, even back line. Even if you just moved, if you got to the nose and only moved, you know, either one of them really a little bit, it's much better. You have access on both sides. 2 yellow rocks that are useful, but cannot roll off.
Hack weight from Fleury. Needs to get relatively close to nose.
Can't be heavy here, it won't curl. Rolled way off, so not brutal.
Just lobbing another one back in that same spot, maybe.
I guess. I don't hate that. The yellow one you could hit too. And lie at least 2. Is red lying 2 now? They are. So maybe you're not worried about that yellow one just yet, but it won't be long until you're worried about it. If you freeze on the red one on the right side as we're looking at it, Rachel's going to come and try and tap it and get something behind the button so that her left yellow one is very usable and not removable. Peel the tight guard? That crazy? Another timeout. This is the key end of the game. I mean, easy to say that because that's where we are right now, but
yeah, this is an all-in call using your other timeout to try to win the game right now.
What about an out-turn back line? Can you get to the nose on your red one and move that yellow one back into the 8-foot and keep your lineup over there? That would be really good.
I think if you think that shot is there, that's probably your game winner shot. I think that's kind of what they're looking at right now.
What else? What about, I don't think doubling those wide 2 yellows really helps here. Nose in that middle one.
I don't think you're concerned about either of those.
Just want another one in there. Just make, you know, another kicker that's out counting those. And if you freeze on the top, if you screw up the angle, and I think it's just going to make it easier for Rachel to bump it anyway. It's not a bad spot, but you want to really line it up to the button.
I do like your call, Brent, if they believe it's there, with trying to get to as much of the top red as possible and move that yellow one back behind the tee line.
Or you remove that yellow one. Just throw like a hack waiter and hit and roll out, or a board waiter, hit and roll out.
If you have enough of it, you could.
Because then when they tap that red, at least you're going to have an opportunity to throw a draw in there to get in the way. If you freeze and they tap it back button, you're not going to be able to remove the yellow. What are you going to do? I guess you're going to guard, though. So I can talk myself into almost anything. I'm okay with this. It needs to be lined up. Needs to be right to it because it needs to outcount those wide 2 yellows.
Looks like a freeze to their own red again.
Don't want to move it to the, they can move it a little. Don't want to move it more than a rock, though. It's getting tight.
Don't think that's bad.
Is that showing a piece? That's really good.
Pretty good.
I changed my call to that.
Yeah. That's what you said, I think.
I get 1 redo per game. That's my redo.
Oh, that's really good angle now. That took away Homan's best shot, too.
Yeah, now she can't move that top one, which is the one she really wanted to move, right?
Yeah. That's a really good spot.
I can't believe you didn't see that, Tyler. I definitely didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I'll admit. I'm not sure they did either.
Doesn't look good. Rachel's summed it up pretty quickly for us there. It's all or nothing for sure right now. It has been for about 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, just touch it. Oh no, even if we touch it, our shooters here, it jams into the red.
Ooh, that's asking for a lot. I don't think you can move it far enough and stay to a spot where they won't be able to make the double. So I think if you move it far enough, you're probably rolling far enough is what I'm really saying.
Yep.
This is it, though. We're going to look back on this shot one way or the other. Probably want, they're saying 6. I would think they would want to like back 4, back 8 here. This is getting gone tight. Uh-oh. How do they get that yellow one out the easiest?
They're looking at a guard on this side. And what do you see on the opposite side if they make the guard?
Well, eventually Rachel's just going to peel out the back one, and you're going to have a tough deuce. This plays for like 5 still, 4, 3, 2. If you hit that one, you just kind of threw there, even if you just tap it open. I didn't see a guard coming, but beauty about this game is we find out one way or the other. I don't know what she's really guarding. Like, what do they even have there? I guess hit it hard, and they're gonna kill their yellow that they don't want to kill.
Their own yellow goes then. Yeah, I'm not sure what the guard was attempting to accomplish.
Can she? And if she can get past that and chip the yellow.
Well, if you thought that they could play the tap on that rock, then why not just kill it in the first place?
Right.
Then it's not there to tap, so you don't have to guard it.
Yeah. They still have the 3 on darts. Mine really curled in there.
So is red still? Is Yoshimura still lying too?
Really close, 1 for sure. Looks like 2.
I don't think the guard's in the way. Sorry? I don't think that guard's in the way.
I really wanted them to come down and chase that top 8 red and go tap, tap, and get that yellow out of there and lie 3 if I'm... I don't think that... I think that guard's going to hurt them in the end. This shot's there all day. You get close to the guard, you're almost going to hit the yellow, like the top yellow. And you just want to hit like 2 inches, an inch of this thing. Game saver on the way here.
Outturn tap attempt for Homan. Coming around the guard that Yoshimura just threw. Plenty of weight.
That should chip it in for second, but...
I think it's going to be gone in the second, though, too.
Surely they're going to hit that one now.
I would think so.
That was just way heavier than they wanted, right? Like, that's through the rings, easy.
Didn't hear a lot of communication on the weight there either for a change.
Yeah, that's 6 feet. Nah, 4 or 5 feet heavy at least, but... And Tracy just had top 4 foot weight. That's the difference. Why aren't they running down to hit this thing?
Yeah, they have probably a quarter of it.
Okay.
So you either got to play speed where it's hard enough that it can tick the yellow and then still kill the red-yellow combo, and your shooter might even go over into that pocket, or you play it soft and try and get to thick and miss the yellow, but you don't want the in-between.
Yeah.
Both teams burn in time this end. Team Homan under 6 minutes now. I'm not sure what she's saying, but I don't like it. They had the right shot here.
It's a lot of conversation about what looks to be a fairly straightforward call. I think the question now is, or what they're talking about is, we make this, is she wrapping the outturn draw around? Can we get to it?
They keep motioning run back, though. It's like, let her throw a run back.
Yeah.
And I don't see a good run back for Yoshimura. So make this. Rachel might throw the draw. And then you should be able to hit one of yours is going to be in a place where you can angle it in there. You make this shot, I don't see how you don't get 2 at least without missing your last one badly. looks like they're playing the quiet weight, so kind of a hack weight. Get close to the guard and hit it as thick as you can. Shooter doesn't really matter because any in off the shooters is never even going to get second shot rock.
Just hack the call. Looks like all of that.
Looks like it's way out there. This is way out there.
Oof.
Oh my.
Well, there's your way out.
Rachel makes this in off and she all of a sudden lies 2 in the forefoot.
Just fired that thing out there.
That's unbelievable. If Rachel wanted to, she could play off the top red and do that and come up. But this is super easy and
But you'll be here.
just when you think Team Homan's down and out, when things are going good, things are going good, right?
Pretty straightforward shot. Shouldn't be any concern with jamming on that redstone in the back of the 8-foot. They glanced at it for a second, but I don't see that angle being an issue.
And even if it did, which it won't, it's not going to be second shot anyway. It's going to be mostly out of the forefoot, so.
Homan firing this at the pocket. We'll be sitting 2 if made. And is. Homan now sitting 2. Just how you drew it up, Brent.
I told you they didn't need to be shot rock till the last one.
There you have it. You didn't say they needed to be sitting 2, though.
Well, no. I don't know everything. I know that she needs to make this shot, though. I'm going to say that if Homan steals one here, they're going to find a way to win this game. Not that they won't if Yoshimura only gets 1 here, but the difference between a single for Homan and a single for Yoshimura here is massive. Momentum-wise, scoreboard-wise, all-wise.
Soft weight, in turn hit, needs to roll a little bit for Yoshimura Sayaka, her last stone here in 6.
Basically the same shot she just threw is the only good news. Like
they're sweeping this one right away.
Uh-oh.
Oh, great sweep. Very well done. But is just a single after looking like it could be a pile for most of the end. Yoshimura leads Homan 4-2 after 6 ends.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
On to the 7th end of action. even with the 2-point deficit, Brent, momentum finds its way over to the #1 ranked team in the world, Team Homan.
Sure seems to a little bit. I mean, that was a huge shot by Yoshimura on her last one. To be up 2 playing 7, if you told them that before the game, they would be super excited about that, because they still should win this game most of the time. But they could have won the game last end potentially and didn't cash in. So it feels like, probably feel that they feel a little bit disappointed. Good news is, most of the Japanese teams don't show a lot of emotion, so if they're not feeling it, if they're still feeling pretty good, if you can convince yourself that, hey, we're right where we want to be, easier said than done, then they should still win this game a lot.
Yeah, you take a 2-point lead over Rachel Homan with 2 ends to play 100 times out of 100. That's right where they're at. Omiya Anna, again, is at a really strong game. And to come in with the second counter.
Pretty nice. Would love those lines straight up so that a run back coming in, it makes it harder to get them both. But another corner guard likely coming from Sarah Wilkes, and then we'll see how Yoshimura defends, whether it's a center guard, whether they go around a corner guard, or they come up with something I've never seen before.
I want that last option.
Yeah, me too.
I want something new.
Always looking for something new.
You prefer top ring or just short with this score, Brent?
I think short. I don't want a long guard, but I don't want anything that can easily hit and roll behind a corner guard right now. The longer they stay out of the rings dealing with the middle, the better. This one's sliding though. Gonna leave a double and roll behind the corner, and that's not what I wanted to see, but maybe not. You definitely need to deal with the middle right now.
Yeah, I agree with Tracy. The way that they've played the game, I think you're pretty sure they're throwing that second guard if you go into the corner.
Played this really soft.
It's not so bad. Moves everything around.
Leaves a nice double to stay behind the guards. How do they, yeah, do they even get to peel here? You might want to stick with the offense. If you are peeling, you're peeling that one so that when they make the double, it's open. So I don't mind that at all. That high corner guard that Sarah threw is a little high. I wouldn't be too concerned about that if I was Team Yoshimura, so. Okay. Just missed this one and jam it on the back one. Peel it or hit and roll to the center. I like either of those calls. Open up that back one so that when they make the double, you could also guard the top one, I guess, but that tight yellow one's a problem.
Just makes contact with the one, but corner guard gone.
Banana peels are back, loving it.
Growing in number once again, too.
So Emma being asked to make this double. Even better, hit and roll in the corner maybe?
That's a pretty good result. Mostly under the guard. Yoshimura is going to chase with the run.
Okay.
This could play into any number of jams.
I would personally probably just peel this. Like, you could jam it on the left. You could make the double and jams on the back, which wouldn't be the worst. But you peel this. Rachel probably goes around the corner, and then you hit in line 3 in the middle. Audible there. They weren't going to make the double, so didn't want to kill their own. Tough to bring that corner into play for 2 reasons. Mostly it's high, but anything buried around it probably is 4th shot. But you're going to need a mistake, so it's not crazy to go around, which I think they are.
Yeah, this is how you set up 3. Getting under that corner guard.
That felt like a half.
14 the call on hog to hog, so
heavy is the result.
This is going to be deep, but I think should have paint. It settles into just biting back 8.
Chance to hit in lie 3 here. Pretty precise though, needs to go pretty close to nose. Can't be kind of half rock high and can't cross it. Well done. Double and roll behind the corner and slowly but surely set up the 3.
That really important to get that shooter all the way over if you're playing this roll.
Need to make this double. And the triple. Hello.
Triple made. I think they still would have preferred the roll over getting all 3. But at least you don't have to move any other stones now.
So hit to lie shot. They did call the roll away, like to the left as we're looking at it right now, but need to stay shot rock. Even if you were to nose it, not brutal. But the question is, will Rachel go around the corner guard again and make you place a good draw, or else leave her a double for 3, or will she take what is probably a pretty open deuce? I think she'd be ill-advised to try for the 3 here, because the deuce, even if Yoshimura made the angle / double and there's a blank, you're still in the same situation again next end. Get forced to 1 here, you're in dire straits.
Not bad there, but this is key roll here now.
Hit and roll.
Homan, 3.5 minutes remaining on their clock. Rachel already in the hack to throw. They do have 1 timeout left as well.
Yoshimura with no timeouts left.
4:16 on the clock for Yoshimura. Snap can roll all the way over, and Yoshimura is going to get a free look at the double now too, Brent.
So do you make the double, or do you ever consider just nosing it and giving her 2? Would you rather be tied with or down 2 without?
I think if I'm Yoshimura, I'd rather be up 2.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think the way that the pressure is going to be on that last shot. They've defended well. Homan's scored 2 points this whole game. I think you feel comfortable with the 2-point lead more than 1 mistake like we saw the previous end, and now you may lose the game.
Got this one going tight, though. I think we're going to see the deuce anyway.
Yeah, it's a draw to the 8-foot for the 2 points. I think if you're home and you prefer this for the exact same reason too. Do you think you can score 3? Yes, but we've seen a couple of yips in key spots from Yoshimura. I think I want it on her head for the last one. Make her throw something tough. Draw, no problem for Homan. Settle into the back of the 4-foot. They tie things up with that deuce, 4-4, but Yoshimura will have hammer in the 8th end. We'll be back.
The rock faces around Lake Tahoe are legendary. But this fall, new ones will emerge in the Tahoe Basin. Homan, Moe, Gushu, and more. November 4th through 9th, the Grand Slam of Curling's first ever event in the U.S. is coming to Lake Tahoe, where the greatest rock stars on earth unite for 6 days of incredible curling, celebrity appearances, and après curl parties you won't want to miss. Get your tickets at thegrandslamofcurling.com. Let's rock!
Eighth end of action here in our feature matchup, the AMJ Players Championship here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Team Homan with the 2 in the 7th to tie things up 4-4 with Yoshimura. Yoshimura with hammer. Tyler George here with Brent Lang. Brent, normally you'd say the team with hammer probably 85, 90% with the way things have been going to win the game, but I don't think you can put those types of numbers on this situation. This is going to be a pressure-packed shot for Yoshimura, whatever they have to throw on their last.
Yeah, this is where analytics, I mean, they're helpful, but they're not, they don't tell the whole story, right? It depends who it is. It depends, you know, there's a lot of pressure. Anytime you get a chance to beat Team Homan, it's harder than if this is against somebody you beat regularly. I can promise you it's a different feeling. And the momentum of the game, it's kind of shifted towards Team Homan for sure. So I would agree with you. And my memory fails me a lot, but wasn't this the situation earlier in the year? And didn't Homan steal the quarterfinal win against Yoshimura to then go on to one of the other finals that she was in?
Does sound very familiar.
Two perfect guards from Sarah Wilkes. On the center line, can't be chipped.
That was to be expected from Sarah. 2 key shots.
Battle at leads today, as you've said, Tyler.
Really good.
Can't really choose one way or the other. This one is made dead, biting the 4-foot dead, splitting center line. It's going to go a long way in helping them have some chances to peel the centers. I'm not sure what they're doing here. Sweeping this by is a horrible idea. You got to hope that stops.
May have if they don't hammer it that whole way.
Or just carve it so that maybe you bump yours on the nose or at least a little thick. But advantage Homan early. If Emma can make this one, get to the nose and bump it to the back of the button, this is going to get real ugly real fast for Team Japan. They might not even be able to peel the guards. Oof, Emma though, that is not normal for her. Not having her best. I don't know.
Same miss all game. Tight and tight. It used to be that wide and heavy was the worst miss in curling with carving. Not sure if that's the case anymore.
Heavy's still the worst.
Heavy's bad.
Wide's less bad. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is oof. Running back to have a look. Another peel for the peelers. There's a pretty makeable almost easy double peel on the 2 yellows. So as much as you'd love to come in here, when are you going to do it? Answer's now. I think I'd throw guard with Emma here, partially because she's not really feeling it today. Mostly because of that. Oh, does she get fortunate? No.
No.
That's actually
not going to help.
That yellow's in a brutal spot too, because when you do finally get one on the button, it's a perfect in-off.
And now the double peel lined up to clear up the whole front.
Bit of a gamer here. Half a rock with some speed. Ooh, got that one going, I thought.
Oh, no, Derek Cajo. Kotani Yuma.
And spin.
Getting the lineup changed. That's pretty good. Gets it out of the draw path.
It's another new rule. You can't change your lineup. Whatever's on curling's, or sorry, on Grand Slam of curling, that's what it has to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you have to change your name.
Just change jackets.
We're gonna read what we're given.
Fantastic double peel there, and now big trouble for Team Homan. How do we steal with no center guards? We need a flash on a center guard. That would be helpful. So one chance at a center, and then I think you're going to see them switch into the rings and try and create a pocket or some kind of miracle.
I think maybe even one more. Just, I don't want to give my opponent 3 cracks at clearing whatever's in the house. We'll see what Rachel thinks.
If you can trick her into nose in this one, that would turn the end around.
Now Onodera Cajo playing this peel. Oh. Okay. Well.
That changes things.
That definitely changes things.
So now it looks like it's in a spot that on Rachel's last, she might be able to kind of nose that and potentially make the double and lie 2. Leave a very makeable double, but at this point, if you can make Yoshimura throw anything other than an open hit, I think you're pretty happy. Big unforced error there, though, obviously.
Door cracked slightly open once again for Homan. Brett, Yoshimura has had any number of chances in this game to put them away and just cannot do it. Most of the time we say it's Team Homan finding a way of fighting back. With this one, I'd say just mistakes in the wrong spots from Yoshimura.
Yeah, chances, and that goes back to the pressure of beating the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
You get excited and you feel a little extra like we might actually win this game. Overcorrect here. Oh, got her. So how do they do this here? Do they bump it frozen now and roll on top? Yeah, probably. You can't really guard. T-line?
Yeah, just move it enough to be frozen.
Roll a rock. Maybe you don't even have to roll very far. Tap to frozen is the key. There'll be no double.
Tap to frozen, shooter rolls to 3/4 in front, or half a rock in front of the one on the button.
And Yoshimura probably has to blast the back two. And then Rachel will try and make a hit and roll perfect to either keep them lined up or spread them outside 4-foot. Yoshimura still should have a pretty makeable shot on her last, depending. She's going to have to make her first.
Outturn, tap attempt for Homan. Company wants to move this maybe 1.5 feet.
Really needs to curl. Keep going.
Weight looks pretty good.
Keep going. Keep going. Curl.
That's pretty good. I think you're right, Brent. I think you have to smash those back two.
Yeah, does it go through or does it clip the other red? Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think you got to play it regardless. And even if it clips the red, I think it's still at least getting out of the forefoot at that angle.
I don't see anything great by smashing the top yellow into the other yellow, so it's so thin not to leave a top button. That would be really bad. I think you're ripping the back one.
Yeah. After the way you saw her throw that one in 7, she really hasn't thrown too many upweight shots. If you could make Yoshimura throw a double on her last, if they slash these out, you play the short little either tap or run on the yellow and the red, you probably make her play something with weight on her last.
If they do hit that second shot rock yellow hard on the outside, does it touch the one on the button? It's always so hard to tell on the overhead.
I think it catches the back.
It does look like it touches
a lot.
She's playing that. Rip this yellow into the side yellow. Was she playing the nose hit to free everything up? I don't know, but I'm interested. I guess if you're going to throw a rocket on the nose, you could spill this one out, free up the freeze, you stay there. But Rachel hits and rolls. Her second one doesn't go anywhere. She hits and rolls in front, and you have to make a double still, but let's find out.
That back yellow it's not going anywhere, is it?
I don't think so.
That's not a good thing to leave that shot rock after this shot.
Maybe a rocket thin, it might go somewhere, but then the one coming in doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's not looking great.
No, that's really bad. Like, they don't need, Team Homan can win enough games. You don't need to hand them to them. You can see the excitement in Team Homan now. Like, this end was over.
Yep.
Jammed almost nosed a peel, ran it into the one in the house and rolled it to the forefoot, and then a questionable call at least on the first. Even if it did touch the other one, it was never going to stay on the button. Blast those out of there, and if she has one touching top four, I guess that's better than two.
Well, the biggest thing with that shot is I don't see any way you could have hit that where Homan wasn't shot rock after you throw it.
No, there wasn't one.
Yeah.
And you're saying that's bad?
Generally, in this situation, yeah.
All right, I would agree with you.
I would like to be shot and make my opponent have to move that stone no matter what. Throwing the out-turn draw. Trying to cover part of the draw path and cover the double.
Doesn't matter if it's in. Her shot's the out-turn draw anyway.
Yep.
She's never playing that double, is she?
I'm surprised they weren't playing
top
deeper
8 on
into
the
top
center line.
8. Yeah, and then that draw is, if it's there, it's really tough. There's no double because your shooter would have to go too far.
So a draw to the forefoot, draw to the button. This yellow one's just off the button. All the pressure. We talked about it was going to be a pressure-packed shot to beat Team Homan, and here it is, as pressure-packed as they come. For the sweepers, the thrower, you want to be the third in this situation. Is this why you played third, Tyler?
I tell you what, I had a lot less stress on me when I played third on these shots.
Line's good.
Yeah. I'm going to try not to mess it up as long as you don't mess it up first. And then the words of encouragement to, hey, go make this. I'm going to stand back here.
See?
Yeah. So it will be on Yoshimura Sayaka's shoulders. Needs to touch the button for the win. Move her team on to the semifinals. Or will Rachel Homan finally have a chance at winning the Players' Championship? Last shot. Women's quarterfinals.
We'll know in 24.4 seconds or less or more. If she's having her life.
If it's less, then it's really bad news for Yoshimura.
It needs to be right around there for them.
Sweepers like it.
Does have maybe a little backing if it gets tight to the guard.
Still gliding a little bit.
This looks
Needs
heavy,
to hit
folks.
the brakes.
This looks heavy, folks.
That's going to go too far. Rachel Homan finds a way once again. Brent, we hate to be prophetic, but I thought this is the situation you wanted to put Yoshimura in if you're Homan. The tie score was better than the 2-point lead.
Big break for Team Homan, and I feel bad for Team Yoshimura. They really should have won that game and just kind of handed it to Team Homan, who doesn't need any handouts, but they're staying alive to finish up the career Grand Slam. So I'm in shock, Ty.
The #1 ranked team in the world finds a way once again. 6-4 the final with that steal of 2. So Homan moves on to the semifinals. Will face Team Kim in a rematch from last night's final round robin draw that Homan won. We will be back at 3:30 for the men's semifinals. Both games with full commentary for you once again. So signing off until 3:30 for Tyler George, Brent Lang, the Grand Slam of Curling, the Home Team Network crew. Thanks for watching. We will see you again at 3:30.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Bye.